Hi, my lovely spectators. Dee Dee here. Welcome to my studio. And you can see on my desk we have a, what should I call this? An evergreen. Something that everybody wants to have to get into this hobby of junk journaling. What I'm going to do in this video is to go through ephemeritizing this book. So basically, that means that I'm going to deconstruct it, take it apart, and we're going to look at the pages and we're going to see what it is that we think we can make. So this is going to have a lot of cuts here and there. So we're going to cut to a clip of me taking it apart, and then we will be back to look at the components. Okay, so I took that apart the other day. So that was another day. And so everything is loose in here, basically. I so first of all, we are definitely can use this cover, right? So let's take a look at that. Okay, I thought I did a pretty decent job of not cutting into the spine at all, but there is a few little loose light spots. So I kept this back page and the front page together so that they can be used for another, probably one signature journal. But we have that. The cover is glossy. Don't know if I would use that for anything, but we're not going to toss it. Now, all of the signatures that are in here. So turns out it has quite a number. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, about 12 signatures. And so it goes through her studies through the course of a year, I guess, with the different months. So this was gifted to somebody in April of 1997. No, oh, no, 1979. Woo, backwards. So the first thing I would do is I'm going to open up this book and look for anything that has a center page, right? So all of the signatures seem to have a beautiful center page. Where is it? Well, maybe not all of them, okay? Meaning it's a full center that we can use. So if it's part of a signature, it's not going to really have that. So let's look for that first and pull those out. So this is what I'm talking about. This is a beautiful center page that we can easily add into a signature without any hesitation. So we would pull those out to the side, and each of the signatures, I thought I saw each of the signatures having one. Yep, there it goes. Okay, and so our focus is, the main focus is this center page, right? So whatever may be on the other sides doesn't really matter at this point in time. We're looking for this to be in the center of a signature. So let's see how many of those we get. Okay, now with that, there are, as you can see, quite a number of full page things. This is so pretty. Full page ones, right? So we can actually wind up pulling that. Like, we'll look again in a minute, right? And we'll take a look at what we're left with. So this is what I would do. So this is probably one of the last pages. Oh, the mushrooms are cute. Okay, this is the center. So we have a full page of this song brush. Okay. And we're just gonna go through. Okay. So that's the first part. So just take out these pages because they'll be perfect for the center of a journal. in a signature, right? So sew it down here. You have both halves. Maybe you might have to crop it depending upon your size. Let's check the size of this. I didn't do that. These are 9 tall by 7 wide. So depending on your journal size, 9 by 7. So if you think about it, 8.5 by 11 piece of paper being the standard, then you're talking about having to cut away a little bit, right? And then also cutting a little bit from the top, maybe not as much as the sides, but in that case, you probably would fold, right? And that way, to not lose any of the pretty picture, okay? So I'm gonna take those all out, okay? And then, I should have left them all open actually. Just like that, okay. So let's take a look and see if there's anything here that has it by a chance. See, that's beautiful. Since we already opened it, I would leave this for the center, right? This is beautiful. Let's see if we have that chance over here. Yep, this is cute too, right? So over here, let's see. No, okay, so see, we'll have to think about something for this. Now, here's the dilemma with this book, right? So this one page, right, is a signature. This has a lot of text on it, and then you have to decide what you want to do in terms of having the visual, you know, the beautiful flower, right? Because you're going to have to cut into one of them or cover one of them quite possibly. So this is a, you know, questionable, not questionable, it's like, oh, what do I do? It's so beautiful. See this? I would leave this as a signature. Look at that. That's even better as a signature centerpiece. Okay. So taking apart a book and taking a look at the entire thing really gives you a sense of what you have. So like with this one, there's nothing with text on the back. This is a nice one. We won't have to have any conflicting. And then all of this text, beautiful, we can add to that. Look at that, that's so pretty. Okay, so that's there. Well, look, perfect as a center signature. So we're just gonna go through the whole thing, okay, and stuff. So if you've never seen the Edith Holden book, you're seeing right now that what it is that it actually has. Beautiful center, okay. Also, I would do that as a center. So there's a lot. So this is all text. We will need to figure out what to do with that, right? Let's see here. Yep, center, definitely. So I'm finding like I'm not going to really need to cut apart much of this book. So, okay, here we go. Look at that, center. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now there's a lot of text. Let's see what's on the other side. Oh, center. I'm really feeling like this book does not need to be taken apart that much. So here we have all text, okay? So let's just quickly keep going through it, okay? Here we have choices, but we have 2 pages, so we can do something on this side, something on that side, okay? And we wouldn't be destroying an image. This has also got one beautiful side. And then this is also has a really nice, you can do this as a center, because why not? Okay, so this book, I mean, I'm really looking at this now myself, that has only one side that's pretty. I mean, they're all pretty, but I'm saying that we can actually utilize, right? So that can definitely be in the center, as well as this. Okay, and then this, oh, turn it over. Look, I won't even cut this up. The center. So if you have a 3 signature book, right? Look at this. So much beautiful illustrations. So this one possibly could be a center. You have beautiful image on this, on both sides. As long as you have florals on both sides, I would use it as a center. So yes, okay. I would use that as a center as well. So, wow, this book is surprising because I've seen people cut into it and people talk about, oh my goodness, it is beautiful. Let's see this side. Nope, we would have to do something with one of the pages. Oh, center. We have to do something there. Now, what can we do? Well, we can make the standard pockets that have, it's not big enough to really do anything with it. That's okay. No. We can make tucks. We can make belly bands. We can make labels from these things. So that's what we're gonna have to kind of figure out. Okay. Yeah, so even though there's something here, it's just not enough. There's still too much text for me. Okay, so I would do something else with that. Then make it a focal. Nope. Nope. Okay, we have a few more to look at, and then we will have everything separated. Nope. Nope. And I think this was the one that had mostly text in it, but I'm gonna take it out as well. Oh, mistletoe. Nope. Nope. And no. Okay, so let's take a look. We have the potential of having this many signatures with a nice center spread. This is quite a lot of the book, or definitely a good amount of the book. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 pages that have potential to be the center of a signature. This one probably would use this one. Okay, but then you would have the other side. So 25 signatures. We can have beautiful Edith Holden middles. Beautiful. So let's look at the rest over here. Okay, and now we have to decide what we're going to do. So if it has this beautiful image here, not on the back, and the other side is kind of nothing other than text, right? What we can do is we can hinge it in a way that we can add another piece over here. So possibly cutting this one half inch past the what is this? The seam, the fold, whatever. Even though we know that this is going to be a little bit longer, I still wouldn't want to cut it. I could cut into the picture. So that's probably going to be an option. So let's take a look at what that would look. So 1, 2 to 6. So 6 would be about here. Let's do a soft fold, right? So you would see everything up to here. So we could do that. So that's going to be what I'm going to do next. I'm going to pull, let's see, how does this tear? Yeah. So anything that has a beautiful and anything that's text only, I'm going to separate. Okay, so let's do that. So we have our beautiful pictures. Now we have the double, so we're going to do the same thing because this one still is nothing. I'm going to put that in a different pile. Okay. These are just blank papers. Okay. That's an image. That's nothing. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's just text. Let's do that again. So I'm going to treat this as stuff for our... Now with this one, I wouldn't say that that's competing. This is a full-on sheet, so I'd keep that there. So there's no competition on this one. Okay, now with this one, there's a lot of text, but it's pretty enough that I might put it on this side, right? So we're talking about just text where there's no image to compete with. Okay, so we got that. And then we have these. So we'll put them over here for now. Same thing over here. This one has double-sided. This one can go over here. Yeah, but I like this side first. And I'll reassess again in a minute. So we're just separating them. So we got the beautiful, and then April's gonna win that side, right? Because there's nothing on the other side. Yep. Over here. We'll put them over here for a minute because I'm gonna reassess that pile again. So you got this one here. It's all right. This one, we have that. Okay. Put that over here. Put that over here. Put that there for now. That's just text. Okay, so yeah, it's just making some hard and fast decisions, right? When you're taking apart a book, even something as special and as prized as this Edith Holden book. There we go. Both sides are text. I'm still gonna take them apart because of that seam that's there. Okay. And our last one is here. That has a double. Okay, so for me, let's take a quick look. This has a little something, something, so we'll put it here. This is completely text. Let's just double check because we're separating the book into different things. So completely text pages. We can make bases, the foundation for other things. Things with a little bit of imagery, we're still going to make bases, but we can treat them a little bit differently. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see, one more. Okay, so these are these are what I call the foundation pages. These are going to be able to make our tags, our belly bands, our journal cards, right? Even though you may think this is gonna be it, but yes and no, right? I want to maximize these as much as I can. Now, all of this is straight up text, so we're gonna put that to the side with the signatures. Now, with these guys, we're gonna double check here. Okay, so what I'm double checking for is it a full page with not too much writing? So we have these full page ones that have all these beautiful imagery, right? So yeah, so this one is kind of half and half, and also it's snake, so that might be everybody's personal cup of tea. But I think when you get less than half, then maybe you might want to put them in that side where they become something else, right? Like same thing here. There's a lot of text, more than half. A lot of text, more than half. These guys, more than half. Kind of more than half, full sheet, full sheet, full sheet, more than half, full sheet, more than half, okay, full. These are I would consider this more full and more full. And if I'm correct, we didn't have anything on here that had a back, right? So let's just double check that. Nothing competing with it. No, that's a full one. So yes, these images, if you prefer these, you might want to pull those aside, but again, that's your prerogative, right? So it depends upon what your focus is to utilize the book. So now we have full pages, right? So now when we have the full pages, we have to figure out what we're going to do with these full pages, right? We can possibly make them into other pieces of ephemera, right? Where we would use the entire page. Maybe we would make them into a full envelope or something of that nature so that we're not cutting too much away with it. So if I were to make an envelope, right, I would still have a good chunk of the beads. I can make a full envelope like this, and that way I would have that. So things of that nature. So these are to me the next step up, right? So you have your middle signatures you're not going to touch. You got your words that's what's going to become your basis for everything. You've got these which need to be handled, and then we happen to have 3 pages in here that are double-sided. So then you have to make a decision, right? So maybe handling them in a special way, maybe making a page that has a double-sided element, like a frame, and then you put both of these into it just so that it dresses it up versus, you know, just being in there, right? You could also fussy cut. I don't know if I would do that. But if I look at the back, right, I might say to myself, this is not my favorite. So I might be like, I much prefer that. Just like this is my favorite over that. And I only have 1 page that I have to deal with, right? So that's one of the other ways to do that. Then we come to these type of pages, like we said. So these pages to me this is a pocket, definitely. A pocket on a page. That's the go-to there. So all of these have a pocket potential. They 2 pockets that we would cut down to have in our journals. So that's our first phase of breaking down a journal. Not a journal, the book, specifically this book, but any book that you're buying, I guess, for junk journaling purposes, that has a long history, that has beautiful illustrations, and can be deconstructed because it's based upon how do you call it, being stitched in, having pamphlet stitching and stuff like that. I would say take it apart completely, just like I did, right? You're going to have your cover, right? You're going to have text pages that have no imagery on them. You're going to have some that have some imagery on them, right? And text. You're going to have your text-only pages. And then you're going to have pages that potentially go in the centers of your journals. So what we make with whatever's in here, I mean, again, that goes back to what your preferences are. So tags, journal cards, stamps. If you have stamps, you could make labels. So I'm going to make a few things, and I will be showing them right after this clip. Okay, so you'll see bits and pieces of the book here because I've been trying to figure out what it is that I want to pull from the book and how I can best utilize this Edith Holden to make journals. So what I've come to decide about, I'm pulling some stuff over here, is this is where I'm at. So I was pulling apart different pieces. So this is what I kind of have left over. Not in the way like, oh, I can't use it, but I'm just like, I want to be efficient. And so I'm not sure about you guys, but I have some pages that are still connected. So they have that potential of being a center page to a journal. And so right now I'm just putting that to the side. And I have a bunch of loose pages and text pages. I have the front cover, which were blank pages, so I didn't use that for anything. I'm just going to put that as paper in my stash. And yeah, so we're at here. So what I came up with and what I was able to do was to kind of come up with enough stuff, in my opinion, to make 3 journals, which would have a lot of focal images of Edith Holden. So they're all exactly the same except for the pictures. So let's take a look at just one and the types of elements that I came up with. Now these are extra bits. These are extra bits. I always like to punch out circles when I have extra little pieces, cut out squares, cut out label size shapes. I also have a bunch of the edges over here, which will be utilized, of course, for something. And then a couple of these triangular and shapes of here because I cut out 4, forgetting that I was working on 3. But I have enough over there in the book to make something more. These have the potential to be something, but I haven't decided because, you know, they're kind of small. So we're just going to put those to the side as well. So what I came up with or thought of doing is, first, each journal should have a center spread. that is intentionally a center spread. So this tree goes into both of them, and it does have other pieces on the outside. Okay, this one also is a center spread as well as this one. So there are 3. Now, does that mean that I can make more journals? Yes, of course. I can maybe make 2 more journals. I could mix and match this a little bit differently. But I figured I would have 1 center spread, right? And then possibly have 1 on the outside. But I have 3 potentially in each one to add to the journal. So, to the signature, right? No, I'm sorry, to the journal. So I have 3 signatures going on here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Whoops, I almost got myself confused. I made one, well, it's not made yet, but I made one little envelope to include some extra little bits and stuff like that into the journal. So 1 envelope there. And then I started to kind of try to figure out what else I could use and do. I may laminate this as a writing board kind of situation. And then I have 2 flip outs, right? So I can attach them to a page, not one of these pages, but another coffee dyed or something like that. So it would have a little flip out to the thing. There was no better side to pick it. I could have done this side, I could have done the other side. It didn't, make any sense. I have 1 flip out there. I have another flip out that kind of goes the other way. So I have 2 flip outs per journal, so 1 in each signature. I have another envelope that I'm gonna do. Okay, right now it's open, but I plan to close it on the side. I'm thinking of interesting closures, maybe sewing it by hand, because it's not gonna hold a ton, just to add another texture so I haven't closed anything. So we have an envelope. So these are things that are like, we don't have them for each signature. They'll be spread out. I could probably make another one of these tip outs, not a problem. So these 2 envelopes are to the journal specifically. Then I have a few pockets. So I have a couple of pockets that are slanted that I'm going to be using to make, right? So we have that. And I think there was... No, that's not, just 2. So we have 2. One is a little bigger than the other. This one has the potential to be either side as well as this one. So we got 2 pockets, right? Should have been a 3rd one in here. Oh, here, no, that's not it. I don't know. So these 2, I might need to get another one so that I can have 1 for each signature. But then we have a little match notebook kind of thing, so that's going to be one that's special to there. And then I have 3 big pockets, right? Well, here's another pocket. Then I have 3 little pockets, right? So that's 1 in each signature. Where is the other one? Can't find it. Oh, she's shush. Where'd it go? Oh, it must be like this. These 3 are pockets. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then I have a couple of journal cards. Okay, so we have 3 potential journal cards, actually 4. Okay, we've got 2 little tiny tags. We have a belly band. We've got a large tag, 2 medium tags, and a side tuck on a page. So they'll have to be evenly dispersed amongst everything. But if it was like you wanted to have one of these in every single signature, because this is set up for 3 signatures, then I do have the potential to have more over there. So this is where I'm at right now. I think, taking apart everything and kind of planning and making up your formula is a good way to go. So your signature should be spread out with goodies, right? So 2 tip outs, I'm going to need a 3rd one, just to make sense. So I have to, think about that, right? I can have 2 tip outs in one and a side pocket in another. These 3 elements, so we have an envelope, a coin envelope, and where's the other one? The matchbook situation, 1 for each signature, not bad. Pockets that are like this, I have 1 for each, right? So 2 of them are small, 1 of them is big, that's fine. There's 1 for each. I have one, two, where's the other one? Where is it? Oh, two small and one big one of tags. I have two little tags, but that is going to be in my brain together with the belly band. So one of them will have a belly band. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 journal cards. Okay, and then we have the two that don't have the belly band will have these kind of pockets. So there is a dispersion of stuff going out throughout the journal. So how many pages per signature? Generally speaking, I would think I would use somewhere between 10 to 15 pages of different elements, talking about coffee dyed papers, digital printouts of maybe some florals. Let me show you an example. I have some florals that I printed on actual, this is another book. So I just printed it on top of some text. The inside in here happens to be empty. Here's on white copy paper, so that's a little too stark. But you know, things like this that I could print on top of paper. But this seems to be about the president, so it might be a little bit awkward. But the other side is perfect to be adding the other elements. So here's where a pocket would go. Here's where a belly band would go, things like that. So that's a possibility. Just the president seems a bit awkward. So, but I mean, honestly, this is a beautiful picture, right? I'd fold it in half and use it in my signature and maybe put a pocket there or something. I don't know. So that's the type of thing that you could add in. Graph paper, doilies, enough to incorporate. So because right now you'll just have one, right, of each of these in a signature. So you have one full page and then all the bits that are surrounding it. So I may need to kind of pull from what I have over here and add another full Edith Holden paper. So actually, let's look at that. Because what I said I had left over, I still have some that are connected. So let's take a look, because we should maybe incorporate some more. So we have other pages that have but full on the other side. So we could definitely add one to each. Let's do that. I'm going to do it right now. I'm adding one to each of the signatures that I have. One to each of the sets that I have. Okay, so I'll have another Edith Holden full paper in one of the signatures. Let's do it again. So we have another. So this is another signature. Let's put one more in each one of the other two. Okay. Yeah, so it's another one goes into this one over here. Another one goes into the other one over there. So now we need another one. So each signature will have two Edith Holden full sheets. There. And then here. Okay, perfect. So what I have left is one of these. So I could do an additional slanted pocket. I could probably get 1, 2, 3, 4 out of this. I'd have to go back and look again, but I really have this right now, which is really pretty. But I also have these guys. So these are the single pages that I was showing you the last time that didn't have, it had a lot of text on the other side. So we still have a bunch more to make into pockets and things of that nature. So there is still more potential. Okay, we could easily do a single signature Edith Holden journal using the pieces that are in here to complete the use of this. So we would be able to get one journal, 3 signatures, one journal, possibly a single signature, another 3 signature journal, and another 3 signature journal out of one Edith Holden book. And probably a lot of bits and pieces left over to play with. So anyway, that's my process right now. I'm still learning, sharing like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm educated enough, I guess, to kind of feel like secure enough, I guess, not educated enough. I'm learning and I'm educating myself as we go. That I want to build balance in the journals. And so, of course, why wouldn't I start with like the most prestiged, gateway into junk journaling than an Edith Holden book. So hopefully you've enjoyed my little jimmer jammer, and we'll see if I put together one and take you on that journey. So keep an eye out for constructing an Edith Holden junk journal. Oh my god! Wow, that was a mouthful. Anyway, if you're new and you've enjoyed hearing my thoughts and kind of seeing, what the process is for me, to see if it's similar to you, hey, that's great. Maybe you subscribe, give me a like, comment what you thought. Any suggestions would be appreciated. If you've been here a minute, thank you so much for always coming back. Hopefully you will see that my intention is for the channel to grow and to kind of give more of myself and my thought process. And doing this, I kind of put myself out there because people can say I'm a fool, but that's okay. And you can also comment. I always enjoy a comment here and there from a subscriber. And yeah, so until next time, ciao ciao, bye.